Hello!
We're back.
Coffee and Connection, the first one of 2019.
Yes, and I think it's working.
Let's double check.
It's been a little while since we've been on TV like this, and so we were kind of scrambling around, making sure. But it looks like we did it. I think we're on. So hopefully you're all getting notified and about to join in the conversation.
We're so excited, you guys. It's been the last month. We're like, it's Wednesday, Coffee and Connection. But we'd already decided in the beginning of the year that we were going to really work on remolding Coffee and Connection, making it even better. And so we wanted to hold off until now.
Yeah, I've been crying pretty much every Wednesday. I just wake up, I curl up in a ball. I'm like, where is everybody? I need to talk to people.
Yeah, so say hello as you join and come on. Good morning, Brooke and Elise. We have a birthday today.
Is there anything special about Brooke today?
Yeah, she's like looking younger.
And stronger.
Happy birthday, Brooke.
Happy birthday, sister.
So we have a treat today. We're really, really excited for Coffee and Connection is still going to be about connecting.
It is.
And drinking coffee.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys have your coffee.
Before we get too far into this, Chris, I've got my Vista mug. We volunteered with the middle school groups at the Vista, and Chris, right before Christmas, gave us these mugs. And he's like, I want to see him on Coffee and Connection. But then immediately after, we went to California. And so we didn't take our mugs to California. And we did our last couple of Coffee and Connections in California. And then we haven't done it again. But I just want Chris to know, I didn't forget. I've been waiting and waiting for the Vista mug to make its debut. Coffee and Connection. Here it is. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. And thanks for being such a cool guy.
Chris said that only, he's the youth pastor at our church. He said the only reason he watches Coffee and Connection is to see Duke. And he wants to see a Vista coffee cup. So you're welcome. Duke might have to wait.
Yeah, I bet he'll be jumping up here in a second.
Annalise said happy birthday to Brooke. That's very nice. I love that kind of community vibe. So what is the treat that we have today?
Well, we're gonna try to add a new feature each week as our plan. So we've got a few features we're gonna cycle them through. And the feature for today is questions in a cup. And so we're going to play the game in just a little bit. Questions in a cup. These were all submitted either via email or Facebook. And people gave us questions, and we're going to draw one out of the mug.
There's some good questions, too.
We don't know which one. I actually haven't really seen the questions.
I've seen all of them.
And we're going to find out. Yeah, Whitney wrote them, so she's got. But we're going to find out what question we're going to answer. You guys can answer too if the questions are pertaining to you. In addition to that...
But hold on really fast. For upcoming ones where we do this as our feature, we want you guys to post whatever question comes to mind. It could be about something that we coach on. It could be on anything that we would be able to answer, obviously. But it can be submitted at any time.
So
and
calculus, physics.
That's a Jake answer.
No science, no bio, no chemistry.
No. So you can actually submit any question you want to hear us talk about on Coffee and Connection at any time, and we're just gonna keep adding them to our collection. So you don't know when it's gonna be answered, which I think is kind of fun. But you'll get to hear us talk about it. So I love that.
Yeah, and leading up to that, we do still want you guys to engage. And so the question of the day is still going to be on there. So we want you to join in the conversation because Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Tomorrow, yes?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow is Valentine's Day.
Tomorrow. You haven't gotten my gift yet?
No. No,
my chocolate that I won't eat?
That's why the question's there. Valentine's Day. Are you for or against? Is this a real holiday or is this fake? I know that my grandfather, my mom's dad, was vehemently opposed to Valentine's Day.
And did he say why?
Yeah, it was a scam created by Hallmark.
Oh.
To sell
I
cards.
love cards.
That's what he felt.
I love cards. If you guys ever get me a card, just know that I'm going to really treasure and value it. I keep all my cards. Do you guys keep your cards? Jake doesn't value cards.
and it's funny because we have we just had an anniversary a little while ago, and I was in Walmart and I was like, oh, I should get Whitney a card, and I'm like, no, I just don't get it. I don't understand cards. I'll write what I want to write and I'll give it to her, and then our anniversary shows up, she gives me a card, and I'm like, oh dang it, she loves cards. I should have got a card, but I always get cards. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with this now. And then I don't get cards for Whitney.
Love languages are a funny thing. So Annalise says, love is real. The holiday is a money-making scam.
Oh, you're right there with my grandfather.
A money-making scam.
And I don't know, because I want to go that route. That was drilled into me. I mean, he really didn't like Valentine's Day.
I bet. Most dudes don't.
But at the same time, there is this actual guy, Saint Valentine. I mean, he's real, and so he's as real as Saint Nicholas.
I guess it can't be a scam.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it just puts me in this space in between. If I were just to be completely transparent, I love going out to dinner, and we're going to tomorrow night in the name of Valentine's Day, and so I have to say good for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It made my week.
I really like it because I look forward to getting flowers or cards. Just kidding.
She's been sick, so that's why all the coughing.
No, but I think that it helps remind us that we can treasure the people that we love outside of birthdays and Christmas. So I am for it.
So it sounds like we could work through everyone's issue if everyone celebrated Valentine's Day by showing love, but not purchasing Valentine's stuff. And that way you're not giving in to the money-making scam of Valentine's Day, but you are celebrating love, which, I mean, we're going to have to admit that's what we're celebrating.
Jody agrees. Jody, which part do you agree with?
Agrees.
That Valentine's Day should be celebrated?
I agree that my husband should give me a card.
Oh, yeah. Cards, flowers, chocolate. Okay, so should we jump into question in a cup?
Let's do it. We will do question in a cup. You guys can keep answering about Valentine's Day. Where it's a crazy thing we have going on here on this TV show because we want to be connecting, but we're definitely on a delay. And so we're going to keep moving forward. But if you guys have to say about Valentine's Day, we want to hear it.
Yes. So Jake likes to be on the spotlight, so I'm going to put him on the spotlight of...
We're both on TV right now.
You can pick it.
Look, it's a Vista mug again.
It's because we got two.
Twins.
All right.
Okay.
No, I'm holding it.
Okay.
You pick it. He's trying to do both. Hold it and pick it and read it.
And answer it.
I'm just here as a prop.
Do you need to go? Top 3 tips to consistently live from joy?
For joy.
Oh, to consistently live from.
I wrote these really fast.
Top 3 tips to consistently live for joy.
Yes.
Gotcha.
That was a great question from Lauren. Thank you, Lauren, for that question. So how do we...
It's like David Letterman style.
How do we... Now Duke's going to eat it. How do we live more consistently from a place of joy? And what would our 3 tips for that be? I think that's a really good question. I know that I love being more joyful, and it does require a lot of intentionality. So what would you say is 1 tip?
I think to be really accepting of what's happening, I guess, of how people are, what they do, what the circumstances are. I'm kind of working at it from the other end, that if I spend all my time wishing that things I can't change were different, that robs me of some joy. Mm-hmm. And so if I do the reverse, if I decide, oh, I'm going to accept, I'm going to be open, I'm going to be into this, that brings joy. It causes a different feeling, and I feel sort of empowered about showing up in reality.
So you're saying don't look for joy in your circumstances?
Well, I'm saying don't wish my circumstances were different in order to create my joy.
Yeah.
Like don't be judging things all the time. Like, oh, that's wrong, or that needs to be this way, or this should have been like that. Instead, just be like, oh no, it is what it is. This is what life is. I get to be a part of it. And it just makes me feel a little bit less stressed because I'm not trying to govern the world anymore. I'm just managing my own experience, and that's way easier. I find.
I love it. Duke, what do you think?
Duke feels joy when he gets to eat questions that drop on the ground.
I would say, and you guys can chime in too. Where do you guys get your joy from? Like, how do you practice living intentionally from a place of joy? For me, I like to feel joy because of how I'm showing up. So an example I would say is today I woke up still not feeling a whole lot better, but I decided that I was going to have an awesome day. And so similar to what you're saying, Jake, my joy wasn't coming from I feel 100% better, I feel like I have high energy, but it was more of like I get to choose. I feel empowered that I have an opportunity to feel joyful about the things in my life that I currently have, and to really focus on those things. So I focused on being able to go to Walmart and
that brought you joy.
Get stuff for our potluck, our love potluck that we're having tonight.
Yes, we are celebrating love tonight. That'll be good.
I was excited that I got to go to Starbucks and get out of the house because I've been in the house for the last 4 or 5 days being sick. I found joy in just what I was looking forward to doing and who I got to be in those actions. It would have been really easy for me to be like, oh, I have to go to Walmart and I have so, but instead I was like, I am so grateful for these specific things and I am going to go about them feeling really excited. And it's not excited because they're amazing things, it's excited because I choose to.
We've got one, Brooks. Brooke loves joy. And she can't choose her circumstances, but she can absolutely find and choose joy in every situation. I think that's a good point. I do want to throw one in that's more of an action item. We tend to get very caught up in thinking about what you think about and getting into people's thoughts all the time. But I do want to throw in sort of a more, I don't know if it's more practical, but it's a more action-oriented way that I would do this is to schedule things I love in my day, on purpose. I would, say, okay, I know that I have many tasks to do in this window of time. I look at the calendar and see what it is, but there are certain pieces I wanna plug in. Make sure I do get to go for a walk with Duke and listen to a podcast, or make sure when the weather turns nice, I get to get to go play some beach volleyball or go paddle on the lake, or all those things that kind of fall by the wayside when it's freezing cold winter dark here. I tend to have a harder time finding my joy activities, but to find ways to stick that stuff in, even to have a little coffee with chocolate milk, whatever, just little things I can do just to be like, oh yeah, this part of the day is specific for joy, and then I'll take care of the business and the other parts. It just sort of keeps me in a little, I don't know, just a lighter headspace, we'll say. Yeah,
my mentor says, I like that a lot, specifically putting things in your schedule that create more joy. My mentor, Rick Castillo, says, if you have clean drinking water, you should be feeling grateful/joyful. And I love that because it just simplifies that we all have so many reasons to feel joy intentionally, and we just have to go and look for that. And at the end of the day, when we feel like there's nothing and everything's working against us, we have clean drinking water. So
we have another comment on here from Annalise. I find joy when I choose intentionally to look for Christ in people and places and events throughout my day.
Love it.
Yeah, that's another good one that was actually just popping into my mind, is just in terms of my faith, I think does bring me a lot of joy because it connects me to something bigger. I was trying to look at what that was. I know that I'm part of a bigger puzzle. I know that I'm cared about, that I'm valued regardless however I do anything, and that definitely has a way to, I don't know, just just bring a little more joy into life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in my devotion, my personal devotion today, it was reminding us that we get to have a relationship with him and we are spiritually adopted. And I was like, man, how could you not have joy in that alone? I love that, Annalise. Good point. All right, I love that question. So thank you for submitting it, Lauren. And we're actually gonna. Did you already tell them that there are only gonna be 3 coffee and connections a month?
I didn't.
Yeah. So we're gonna take
Cat's
one
out of the bag
week
now.
off of coffee and connections. So it'll be the second week, the third week, and the last week of every month. We're gonna be doing coffee connection. So not the first week of the month. But we will continue to like popcorn these features. So you never know when we're gonna do question in a cup.
Duke's trying to dig into my feet. Like he's like literally digging like it's dirt.
Such a weird
onto
dog.
my shoes and under
So
them.
weird. All right, last thing
He's
before
only weird during coffee and connection.
before we wish you guys a wonderful day. What are we doing?
Well, we're gonna try to add a life skill of the day at the end of
Oh,
each
a
day.
life skill, like bow hunting skills.
Nunchuck skills. Yeah, all that stuff. And it's interesting, I guess, coincidental. It's kind of what we've been talking about already. But our life skill of the day today, we wanted to center around love because Valentine's Day, whole theme, all that stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. And because it's Brooke's birthday.
Tied
She
in nice.
loves
She loves love.
love.
She loves joy.
She loves joy.
She's a love joy. So the life skill of the day is to just, if you imagine somebody that you have a hard time loving, if you're like, this is not the person I want to see on Valentine's Day, this is not the person I would want to Valentine with. If you imagine that person, just try out thinking of 3 awesome things about that person. Because one of the secrets of life, that's a big part of what we do, is that the feelings that you have about that person, the feelings that you have about that person, they don't come from that person. They actually come from your own thinking, and they're totally optional. So if you don't like the way that you feel about that person, try thinking some different thoughts about them. And so that's our challenge, our life skill to give a shot at today.
So you have to pick someone that you don't really like?
Well, just that you don't like the way that you feel about them. Like you'd like to change it. Like there's a realizing, oh, my feeling about that person is robbing someone of my joy. Well, that feeling's optional. And so your life skill of the day is going to be to try to think of 3 awesome things about them and see how that changes the feeling that you have when you remember how cool they are.
Can I do it with someone that I have a good time, or I have a good time loving, that I find it easy
Heck
to love?
yeah, do it out loud.
Well, Duke is...
Oh, like I didn't see that coming.
I know. No, I think that's really helpful. The cool thing, like Jake is saying, is when we intentionally... And I do this often too, Jake. I catch myself. Uh-oh. I catch myself intentionally looking at the things that I genuinely love about him, rather than being like, oh yeah, that's my husband, I love him. I'm like, oh, I love this about him, or he'll be doing something around the house. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love the way he does this, and so it makes me feel a lot of love for him intentionally when I do that. But what I find myself is that if I don't do that, then I'm not feeling as much love as I know that I have. So I do that. I try and do that on like a daily basis.
Is it a lot when I have like a tight shirt on and you're watching me do stuff around the house? Is that when the thoughts like start coming easy? Like, oh man, look at my husband. Yeah.
Something like that.
That's a nice way to respond. I love that about you. You let me down gently while we're on TV.
Gently. So this was so fun, you guys. We would love to hear how you thought it was, if you thought it was any different or better or worse. It definitely wasn't worse.
No. And just if you have any questions or anything like that, and then we will not do questions from a cup next week.
No,
we have a new
one.
Yeah, that we'll
We have
throw out there.
4 features that we're going to be alternating consistently, and so they're going to be super fun. It's going to be a little different each week.
You know you feel excited right now.
Yeah. Well, happy Valentine's week, and Brooke,
cheers.
happy birthday. Shannon said happy birthday as well. You guys have an awesome day, and know that that you are loved. All right, talk to you guys later.
See ya.